I dropped to the ground. This was before the show, and everyone went, oh! And then Vince saw it, and then Molly goes, hey, Vince, do you like that for Victoria's finisher? He goes, you okay? She goes, yeah. He goes, I love it. And the first person to take it was Stacy Keibler.
Oh, are you as excited as I am? As you saw from that little clip there off the start, another in-person interview. Thanks for being with us on this one, and a huge thank you to our sponsor, Tiege Hanley. These are products I've been using for years, and now they're on board as a sponsor. And look, I get that a lot of guys watching this right now have never even considered a skincare routine, and Tiege Hanley is made exactly for people like you. First of all, washing your face with a good face wash is how you should start and end every single day. In the morning, it gets rid of all the oils and bacteria that are building up while you sleep. And at night, it gets rid of all that stuff that accumulates throughout the day. Now, I said that Tiege Hanley is designed specifically for first-timers like you because they tell you exactly what to use and how much of it to use. See the face wash there? Daily face wash. It's hard to mess that up. When you're done washing your face, you'll put on a little AM moisturizer, and it says right there on the bottle, morning facial moisturizer with, and I like this, SPF 20, so you got a little bit of sunscreen built in there. Then before bed, you'll do the same thing. You'll wash your face with the wash, and you'll put on the PM moisturizer, and it says right there, bedtime facial moisturizer. Then twice a week, you got a little treat for your face with the scrub. It'll like really dig down deep, get all that extra dirt and oil that's built up there. Plus, not only does it smell great, but it leaves your face feeling like all tingly. And I like that Tiege Hanley cuts out the middleman so they can sell directly to you and save you a ton of money. It starts at just $25. You really can start to reverse the aging effects on your skin. And you can also clear up your acne or maybe some of the pimples that you might have seen in some of my previous videos. And because they're sponsoring today's video, if you click the link down below in the description, Tiege Hanley is, boom, gonna hook you up with that right there, a free toiletry bag, and you can get started for just $25. Beyond the fact that you can start to look younger, I just really think the idea of washing your face in the shower with the same stuff that you wash like your balls with, you know, that's gross. Well, welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
It's so nice to do an interview in person.
I know.
Yeah.
I like that. You were like going, we can do it over the phone, or and I was like, no, I want to drive down and do it in person. I think it's the intimacy. It's like it's lacking over the computer. Don't you find it?
And as great as Zoom is, and I love that it's afforded us the ability to be able to do these interviews, you know, across the world. You do your podcast with Val, who lives in England.
Yeah. So she's 8 hours ahead. So she's like 11 o'clock at night. We're starting our interviews.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
But today
was early for you.
So Zoom is great for that type of stuff, but also like even if there's just a half-second delay, it's not like this. It's a face-to-face conversation.
I agree. I agree. I did. Yeah, I miss that. That's what I miss about Comic-Cons is like having that face-to-face communication. Do you know what I mean? And like going, oh my God, and giving someone a hug, that kind of thing. They don't expect you.
Yeah.
As me being a heel my whole career, they're not used to me being so friendly.
Yeah.
They're scared to meet me. And I'm like, no, I'm just a normal person.
That's so funny.
I'm so normal, you guys. I go, I'm so glad to meet you guys, you know? You keep me in business.
Do you see like the lines for the baby faces way longer than the lines for the heels?
Okay, I have an interesting story. Okay, so ODB was a heel, and I was a baby face. I like being a heel, but I guess I was new to TNA, so when we went out to dinner, I go, okay, it's on me. I go, I'll pay for the hotel. And she's like, why? And I go, I did an extra signing after the show and during intermission, so I made more money than you did. And she's like, no one has ever done that, ever. And I'm like, well, that's a shame. I said, because I did 2 signings and I got paid extra.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid the same.
That's so kind of you.
I think it's, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked that other people didn't do that.
Yeah, but look.
Shameful.
I understand it though. People are going, oh, the money's in my pocket already. It's
yeah.
my money. I earned it.
Yeah. And then, the heel's taking most of the bumps. And right? And
Yeah.
so you're like, okay, thank you for letting me win the match. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I am noticing this in the background.
Yeah, it's bothering me too.
This is this is how I know you're a wrestler. You have a fanny pack.
I have a fanny pack.
I thought
Yes.
only the guys had it.
Nope, I have a fanny pack. No, and if you guys go on our GAWTV on YouTube, GAWTV show, we have a GAWTV fanny pack. I haven't ordered it yet. I need to order it.
Well, I'll
but-
link that below in the description.
Yes,
There you go.
it's on Teespring.
So if you're subscribed to this, you should also subscribe to GAWTV because the most recent guest on GAWTV,
Is this
Yeah, it
guy?
was me.
Is this guy? Is this guy?
you're wearing very ridiculous pajamas too.
Yes, thank you for that.
And drinking wine.
Yeah.
So up until this year, I'd never done an interview with any sort of alcohol or anything like that. And then I did Talk and Shop with, Machine Gun, Carl
Yeah.
Anderson, Doc Gallows, Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
And they're like, bring your favorite drink. Okay.
I have to go shopping. Did you say that?
No, I mean,
You had it? You
I
had
have
it?
all
Okay.
kinds of alcohol behind
Okay.
us here. But I'm like, so I'm going to do this interview and like progressively get more drunk? And I did.
Yeah.
I drank Tito's lime, like water with lime.
I think it's just like, okay, for our show, it's like we're grown-ass women just talking nonsense is one of our, is our,
Right.
what we describe it as. We're in our pajamas at our house, and we drink wine, and we just shoot the shit, excuse my language.
Please, it's the internet.
Yeah, okay. And so we just talk whatever we want to talk about, and it's like, the fans get to see, like, be a fly on the wall and see
Yeah.
what we discuss.
Yeah, and
You know
that's what
I mean?
people love.
See the real us.
Yeah.
You know
guys
what I mean?
You guys have so much fun on your show.
Oh, we do.
And for those of you that don't know, it's Mickey James, it's Lisa, and it's SoCal Val.
That's it.
Yeah.
And SoCal Val is 8 hours ahead. So, yeah. So she's already like probably 4 glasses of wine in. And Mickey and I are just catching up. We're like going, maybe we should have a glass of wine to catch up with Val on the show. You know what I mean?
This is a Sailor Moon hat?
Sailor
Are you a
Moon.
Sailor Moon fan?
I am. I'm a nerd. I'm a comic book nerd. Like a lot of people don't know that. I'm a Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Attack on Titan. I'm an anime person.
I need to know who your
Star
favorite-
Wars, Mandalorian.
Oh, I saw the face there. I need to know who your favorite Ninja Turtle is, and then I want to judge
Raphael.
you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And what's yours?
Either Raph or Michelangelo.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
when someone's
that's-
like, it's Donatello, I'm like, really?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Donatello?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I have earrings, Ninja Turtle earrings, and Transform. I'm a. People are shocked. This is why I like Comic Cons.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, "Wow, you're really inexpensive to hire for Comic Cons," and I go, "But you don't get it. I enjoy the Comic Cons. I want to go row by row, and I'm there to make money, so I try to save money, but." If I see something, like I'll bring back a baseball cap or something like that. Not very small. But I like my T-shirts and my baseball caps, and
Do you get excited for any of the other stars that are there?
I do.
Okay, like
Jason
who?
Momoa. I got a picture with. Oh my goodness,
Because there's like at some Comic Cons, there's
Princess
some.
Tide.
Okay.
I mean Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Aldo Montoya.
No, the guy. I wish. Inconceivable.
The only one I can think of is Andre the Giant.
Okay, well, of course, because you're a wrestling fan, and then you grew up wrestling. Yeah, I do mark out a lot over certain celebrities, but it takes a lot for me to mark
Okay.
out. It has to be like an old school kind of movie that I was into. Nothing new too much. Jason Momoa, of course.
Well, he's
I
very handsome man.
very. But going through that line, because his line.
How much-
You don't even get to talk.
much
It's like
money
almost like
is
a
he
WWE. I know. His guarantee is pretty great, but it's just like when you go to WWE, like in WrestleMania, they're like they just shoo you along. You don't even get to say, hey, hey buddy, how you doing? What was your favorite match? You don't even. That's how his line was. You get to go, hey, I'm a big fan. Okay, it was so quick, but he gets a guarantee. He has to go through that line so that Comic-Con makes their money back for him being there,
Right.
instead of going, I didn't get through my line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Well, fingers crossed. There's Comic Cons next
I know.
year.
I hope so too.
I hope so.
I do. Our San Diego one's pretty big, but it's
It's pretty big. I guess it's the biggest
I know.
one ever.
But it's so crowded. It's really hard to go down the aisles and appreciate all the booths because you're stepping on people's cosplay outfits and stuff like that, and you're just like, excuse me. And then like me, I wear my wrestling gear when I do signings.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Who wants to meet Lisa? They want to meet Victoria or Tara. You know what I mean? I think it's
Who do
part
they,
of the
Who do they want to meet more?
Victoria.
Yeah. that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a longer career, and I think they like the heel character more, and the psycho kind of chick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But going down, like, of course, I'm like going, oh, let me take a break. And people are like, hey, Victoria, can I take a picture? And you don't want to ever say no. So you're like, oh, I only got down 2 aisles. Let's just go back to my booth because they're not making money back from me. You know what I mean? I better go sit down where I'm supposed to be, you know? But yeah.
So we're not far from where you grew up. We're in Studio City right now, where I live, basically Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But you grew up in San Bernardino, which is not like maybe a little bit over an hour from here.
Yep, Inland Empire. I'm a 909er, San Bernardino. Went to high school in Rialto and junior high and elementary school. And later, like in life, after my divorce, I moved in with Torrie Wilson in West Hollywood. She now lives in Florida.
You and Torrie Wilson were roommates.
We were roommates, yeah.
Okay, tell us something about living with Torrie Wilson that we might not guess.
She is super into energy, like, and crystals and, you know, all that.
Okay.
What's that kind of lifestyle called? Is there a term?
Is that like Reiki? Like Reiki healing?
Like, well, just into crystal. Like, I'm very much of a spaz, and I'm like ADHD, and I'm just like, I'm a very high-strung person. And she was like, Lise, your energy is coming off. It's just too much. It's too much. You need to calm down. You need to learn how to meditate. And ADHD girl, to meditate or take yoga is not in my...
Have you ever tried it?
I tried. I couldn't. I was so distracted by looking at people, and I'm super competitive. So I'm like going, how is this girl out of shape? And I'm an athlete getting that pose, and I can't even balance on one leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it ticked me off doing that class.
But yoga's like this internal struggle of like, I need to get myself to the next. I've done a handful of yoga classes.
Have you? Yeah. Mickey just sent me 10 YouTubes or apps to do yoga for 10 minutes. She goes, I'm sending you 10-minute meditation. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Because a little bit more than that.
Well, meditation, I think, is different from yoga, but I think
she did send me yoga stuff.
It could help you.
Yeah, it could. It's just I need to make the effort to do it. When she sent me all these 10 links, and I was like, ooh, this is a lot. I was like a little overwhelmed. I'm like going, oh my, I need a lot of work. You know what I mean? But she's like, also Mickey James is also like an energy person. Like she can't be around spazzy people, and I'm one of those people, super high energy, and you're exhausted after being with me.
No, I'm
Guilty.
feeding off your energy.
Are you?
I'm liking this.
Good.
Yeah.
Then you must be ADHD too. No.
Just I don't know. I adapt. I feel like I adapt to whatever's going on here.
Yeah.
You do
That's
too.
a good interviewer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So if you grew up about an hour from here, who was Lisa growing up?
Oh my God. I was a kid that I was bouncing off furniture, like just not like ADD and ADHD was not a thing when I grew up. They just thought you're a spazzy kid, like, oh, she just has a lot of energy. Let's put her in sports, that kind of thing. And I adapted to that, and super competitive, everything I did. I remember playing T-ball. This is an interesting story. I never told this on an interview. T-ball, my dad was in the audience, the bleachers, and to hear your dad cheer for you, you know what I mean? T-ball.
So you're
it's
like
T-ball.
7 years
I
old.
pushed somebody aside. I think 6. Is it 6 years old or
Yeah,
something?
5, 6 years old.
Pushed
Yeah, I
somebody to catch a fly ball on my own team to hear my dad going, yeah, that's my daughter. And then I come back and the coach is like, what are you doing? That's your teammate. They had that spot right there. And I'm like, I was super, super competitive. Yeah.
Which led into, I mean, we're going to fast forward a little bit here, but you got into competitive bodybuilding and fitness modeling.
Yeah, it was one bodybuilding competition, and it was a middleweight, and I won that. And I saw a fitness competition on TV, and I was like, oh, gymnastics. I was gymnast, cheerleading. Oh, that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Dance routine. I did dance as a kid. I was like, I got to do that, and that's how I met Torrie. We competed in fitness together, and with the same sponsor. And so we had a team. Team O2 was a water that had oxygenated drips, like the drops in it and stuff like that. And her and I were roommates, and it was Miss Galaxy. We were competing, and that's how our friendship began.
Well before wrestling.
Way before wrestling. And then she got into WCW and brought me backstage. And I'm like, what the hell are you? What is it? You're escorting a guy to the ring, and you get paid for that? Because you're hot and you're like, you know, like shredded and like that kind of. She's beautiful. I mean, just stunning. Like in person, like pictures don't do her justice. When you you meet her.
Yeah.
She's so sweet. She's just a 10, you know what I mean? And so she tried to get me into WCW, and that was going down. They weren't hiring anybody, and that's when
Were you interested?
When I saw that was what piqued my interest. I was like, you get paid what? For this, And then so
I could do that.
Yeah. And I met Chyna at Crunch Gym in West Hollywood. And
Was Chyna living here?
no, they were in town for either
Wow.
a photo shoot, or maybe I don't even know if she lived here. Marina Del Rey, but she might have lived there at the time, but I didn't know this. And they charged her to come into the gym, and I gave her a stack of guest passes. And I said, hey, I know they charged you here. Crunch Gym, there's a lot of celebrities there. So they're like, I don't care who it is. They had to pay to come in. And so I gave her a stack, and we took a hip-hop class together. And I was like, hey, I have a couple friends that are in the business that I know, Trish Stratus and Torrie Wilson. She goes, oh, are you a wrestler? You have a really good look for it. And I go, I think I can do what Rob Van Dam does and Rey Mysterio, because gymnastics and a flyer and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she goes, you have a really good look for it. And she goes, and I go, well, who would I send my stuff to? She wrote down the address, which was just the corporate. It was the one, Connecticut.
Okay.
That's it. Sent my stuff in. Had a video made. I paid $600 for this VHS to be made. Like transition, like I started it, boom, Lisa Marie Varon. Like it was like music and all that kind of stuff, and showed my competitions and me doing news, like demonstrating exercises and stuff like that. And I got a call back from Jim Ross and Kevin Kelly, and they said, we never seen a video so professionally done and a package sent like this. And I was like, living in LA, you kind of, you have the tools,
Sure.
Someone knows editing, someone 8x10s, or you know what I mean, and photo shoots and stuff like that. And my fitness modeling, not fitness competitions, we did shoots for Muscle Mag and all that kind of stuff. So I sent my stuff, and then they're like, we want to meet you in 30 days. And I say, well, what do you see me doing? I'm obviously not a Torrie Wilson or a Trish Stratus. I'm a bigger girl. They say, we see you wrestling. So I Googled pro wrestling school, and UPW came up.
Wow.
And then I said, hey, I called them. I said, WWF is wanting to meet me. I need to learn how to wrestle in 30 days, which I didn't know. I thought it was a routine.
Yeah, sure.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, here, you go to the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't think in a million years that I would be doing that for 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is the 90s that you're talking about, where we all have a phone in our
99.
pocket now. Okay, so we all have a video camera in our pocket now.
Yeah.
If someone says, make a video, you just go, yeah, sure, here you go, and start to make a video.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would go, oh, I would have made a video for that wrestling thing.
But I don't own a camera.
I don't own a camera. $600 is what they quoted me.
Yeah. I didn't know it was $600.
How much did you think it was going to be?
I thought $90 or something, or $100. But then when I took all my stuff in, they were like, oh, how many? Oh, okay, that's like 20 clips that we need to edit and transition, and the music, and then like the sound effects. I had sound effects and everything. I actually thought about this morning, I wanted to reach out to Jim Ross about, I want to get my tryout video. I want people to see my tryout video.
Yeah.
I was super jacked back then. When I look at myself back then, it's too muscular for me. At the time, I thought it was cool, but when I look back, I'm like,
but that's
I was
probably
so manly.
what got you hired, though.
I think so. Not so jacked, but still a little, with the feminine side, and also bikini shoots and stuff like that, the sexiness and stuff like that. That's part of it. But my parents were like, what about med school? I thought you were going to med school. And I go, 3 months, I may burn out. I'll get bored and I'll go back.
Was your plan to be a medical doctor?
Yeah. Pediatrics or dermatology. Okay. And, but after going to college, I went to UCLA, and then I went to Loma Linda University, and it was a private university. And my second quarter of Loma Linda was working on cadavers.
Wow.
It's private school.
Yeah.
And so everybody that went to that school, they're Seventh-day Adventists. I'm not Seventh-day Adventist. Dentist, nursing, dietitian, medical, biology, pharmacy. That it was just strictly that. And so when I transferred to UCLA, there was no cadavers. And I was like, when do I get to work on cadavers? They're like, oh, no, that's not until med school. And I go, oh, my parents just spent a fortune on this school. And I just, oh my God, because I didn't fit in. I wasn't Seventh-day Adventist. and just I was lonely, and you have to live on campus there for 2 years, even though you live 15 minutes away. So going to that school though, after taking a break from school from UCLA, I got a job at not La Sierra. It was Redlands. It was Eye and Tissue Bank. Okay, it was in Redlands. It was affiliated with Loma Linda, and so I used to remove corneas, heart, saphenous vein, bone, and middle ear for transplantation.
Wow.
I know. And then that's when I decided I didn't want to go to med school. This was fulfilling. I was on call 3 days a week with a beeper, with the brick phone.
Wow.
Brick phone. And then the other days I was in the office, going to the coroner's office and like looking at bodies and seeing if they're suitable for donation and stuff like that. Calling the family, asking, and then having to go over their white blood cell counts to see what diseases they have that are not suitable for donation and stuff like that. So be a donor, you guys. Let your next of kin know, not just your driver's license. That doesn't give you permission to donate. You have to let your next, because I have to call the next of kin. Huh. Like if I had a daughter, they have to call me and say, she put this on her driver's license, but we want to ask you if it's okay. And then they would say yes. And this is within 10 hours of death. Oh, so, geez, it was, oh my God. It was so hard. There was a room, just white walls. You can stand and like get out. That's it. It was like a closet, like a janitor's closet, but there's nothing on the walls, nothing. You have your little sheet down here. I'm so sorry to call you at this time. I'm gonna let you think about it. And we're from the Eye and Tissue Bank. Would you be interested in, donation, that kind of thing? And so we have, and then yes, I'll call you back in 10 minutes so you can talk about with your family.
Oh
and let me go down the list. I need to know what her medical background is. I know, and you're not ready for that, but
sure.
It was so rewarding because you get cards going, I'm so glad, her corneas were used for someone can see again.
Yeah.
It was so rewarding. That's why I was like, I didn't want to go to medical school. Not for 4 years, and I'm doing already what I love is helping people,
I mean,
crazy.
So if it wasn't,
and I got addicted. Okay, and then when cutting through the body fat and all that stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, my family doesn't have a healthy background, and is this my future? I got addicted to working out.
Wow.
Then I super addicted.
Yeah.
I did just aerobic. I taught aerobics, and then I started lifting, and my body changed from lifting. I started getting really lean and like cut and stuff like that. I was like, oh. Whoa. And then I competed. And then from competing, met Torrie, wrestling happened.
Wow. So would you say it was because you met Torrie that wrestling happened? Or was it the chance encounter with Chyna that really set it in motion? Both,
because I wouldn't have pursued it. If I didn't meet Torrie and went backstage and I saw Chyna, I would just like, oh, Chyna's in here. That's it. And I wouldn't have approached her and said, I had a couple of friends. I think I might like it a little bit in my back of my head. I think I can do some of the stuff the guys do, and that's,
Who did when you were backstage at WCW, who did you see?
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Eric Bischoff. Oh my goodness. And don't forget, I didn't grow up as a wrestling fan. So I didn't know anybody.
You're just like, that guy's really tall.
Billy Kidman. That's it. And I was like, oh my. And the catering was like, people were looking at me like, because I'm fitness chick, right?
Yeah.
What's she doing here? Is she applying for a job? And then my first gig is, going to the locker room with Torrie, and then Eric Bischoff, I think was Eric Bischoff, that came up to me, hey, do you have any sexy clothes? Which I thought I looked cute, but it was not sexy enough. And one of the, not Fly Girls, Nitro Girls gave me an outfit, and I sat on Scott Hall's lap, twirling him that long curly thing, and I had no idea who Scott Hall was. And I was just with the entourage with the girls, and that was I didn't get paid for it.
Yeah.
I just was like, okay, I'm here anyways, with watching Torrie, and did that, and I was like, I can't believe people get paid for this. Are you kidding me? What? You know what I mean?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's a TV show. I think that, from the outside looking in, a lot of people think that it's like going to a sporting event. And when you're backstage, you go, no. It's a TV show. Here's the script, and this is what we're going to be doing.
Right. And it's like when you meet these people backstage, they're completely opposite than what you expect them to be out. Right.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are really high strung out there and just really loud and like amped up, and you meet them and they're super mellow. You're like, oh, it's almost a disappointment, right? You're like, oh.
Yeah.
you know? And I think learning from that, like when I go to Comic-Cons, I don't take a break. I might walk around and look at the booths and stuff like that, but you have to be on. I don't want this kid to go, oh God, she was so boring. That's not the character I met on TV. So you kind of go in and out of character a little bit. You know the adults know you're a character, you know, and you're just friendly. But when the kids come around, you're like, oh, you're so nice. And I'm like, well, if Trish Stratus was here, you wouldn't see the nice side of me. You know what I mean? You don't want to burst Santa's fake.
Yeah.
You don't want, you know? So it's ask my boyfriend, David, like when I come home, I'm like, no talking. I'll sleep for 2 days because you're on.
You seem to like decompress.
You need, re-energize.
This is where you should meditate.
I know.
It'd be great
I know.
So when
I thought sleeping was meditating, though. Good Lord. Or a massage or getting adjusted by the chiropractor.
Oh, man, I got adjusted by a chiropractor right here a few
Did
months
you?
ago. It was violent.
Was it?
Oh, I'll show you the video after.
I want to see it.
It was something else.
On the floor, or did he have
He
his
had
table?
a table, but
Okay.
it was very loud and, man,
really?
painful. But a great, when it was
Yeah.
done, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I haven't,
Great. So when you went down to UPW, tell me about this character that you created there.
No, I didn't create it.
Okay, tell me about the character that you were.
No, they were like going, oh, we have a show. I forgot what the arena was called. I remember meeting Chavo there. And I didn't know it was Chavo. I was so new. John Cena was there.
He was the prototype.
Kazarian,
then.
prototype.
Yeah.
Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Jerry Lynn. Like these are like big names there.
Yeah.
And so it's T.J. Perkins. Like a lot of big names came out of that school, and oh my God, they were like, oh, we have a show. We're going to have you as a dressed like Stacy Keibler with the studio, the glasses and the black skirt and stuff like that. And I was called head bitch in charge. And so my first bump was taking the hard way in over the top rope, which is when they grab you, toss you in. And of course I was like, oh, I can do that because I'm a gymnast, right? I can swing myself up. You don't even have to toss me. I'll do it myself. And that was my first bump. And Bruce Pritchard used to come down to the UPW and look at all the talent, and it was a talent search, you know what I mean? So,
Sure.
Yeah, and so Godfather Ho was looking for 2 permanent hoes, and me and this fellow girl got our foot in the door, and she didn't want to be a wrestler. I did. And so I was training on my days off. I was like, oh, I don't want to just be a sidekick. I want to do what that guy's doing. I can do that. I don't want to be save the hose, even though it was fun. It was an easy gig.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
most of the other hoes were strippers.
They were
right?
strippers. That's why he wanted permanent hoes, because they would go scout strip clubs and bring the girls in.
Which
and
is
so sometimes they're not
crazy to say out loud.
I know. And it's like some of them are not, it's a Sunday, 2:00 in the afternoon. I don't know what strippers you're going to get on that. They are easy on the eyes. As on Family Guy, as Stewie would say, with a C-section. Do you remember that episode? Okay. And so
I guess it depends which city you're in.
it
If
depended.
you're in Vegas or Miami, you probably got all kinds of people to choose from.
Absolutely, right? The gorgeous ones. And not to say that other states don't have pretty girls.
That's why I didn't specifically name any states.
So, and I met Godfather's wife, and we hit it off, and she goes, oh, I like her, and she's really friendly. And she didn't have to do okay, but I knew that helped. That I wasn't a stripper and I wasn't looking to hook up with her husband and that kind of thing. And that was my foot in the door. And the rest is history.
Wow. Did you know that getting hired as one of the hoes would end up leading to something else?
I just knew I'd get my foot in the door so they get the eyes on you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then when they threw me through the table, when Godfather turned...
To the right to censor.
Yep, the right to censor.
Yeah.
Threw me through a table. I didn't know it was going to take me off TV permanently, until I got trained. But I was like, oh, I go to wrestling school. I can do it. And took me off TV, and I went to... Jerry Lawler was saying, you need to move to Memphis. That's a better school. You're going to learn. It's old school style. That kind of... I didn't know what old school style meant, or Memphis style. Talked to JR. I said, Jerry is telling me I should be moving to Memphis. And he goes, oh, are you wanting to wrestle? And I go, I'm going to wrestling school on my off days. Oh, we didn't know that. I was like, oh my God.
Why'd they let you take a bump if they didn't know?
Well, you're telling the agents, not the big guys. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So they're the only ones that know. And so a week later, they're like, "You're moving to Memphis. How fast can you get there?" And I go, "I can be there in a week," which was silly to say, but I got in there in a week. Yeah, left everything
Wow.
in LA, and then moved to moved from West Hollywood, went to Memphis, stayed there for a year. That school closed down, and then we had a meeting. I was the only one sent to OVW. The rest got sent to Ohio. I forgot the school's name.
What wasn't OVW?
OVW
was
and
it
another
Louisville,
school,
right?
HWA.
Okay.
That was the Ohio one. Like Charlie Haas, the Haas brothers went
Yeah.
there, and I got sent to Louisville. And then I recognized some faces, and John Cena was there. And I go, "Oh my God, I know somebody. Oh, UPW, yay! Oh my God!" And Nick, you had Eugene on the show. I was telling you.
Yeah.
He trained me. Rob Conway. I was in school with like Shelton Benjamin. My gosh, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Cena.
Wow. Oh, Batista was there.
Batista.
That time, right? Yeah.
I mean, all these people that in this school made it. But you're training under Jim Cornette, Danny Davis. Like, these are people that know they've been wrestling since they were like 13 years old.
Yeah.
They know the business. And so I would show up 2 hours early before school, the training, and work one-on-one with like Eugene or Rob Conway and that kind of thing. So I enjoyed my training. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people like, "Oh my God, you had to move." That's what you got to do if you want to make it. And people are like going, "Is there a school here?" Like in their town. I'm like, if you really want to make it, you're gonna pack up and leave.
And if there is a school in your town, maybe it's worth it to move to get trained by a better instructor.
Exactly. Yeah. At least from somebody that's made it. You know,
Yeah.
because they know the ins and outs of the business.
And there's so many great schools, especially in America. There's so many great places you
Yeah.
could get trained. It definitely is worth doing what you did.
Yeah.
Picking your life up and, betting on yourself.
Yeah,
Betting on the
exactly.
goals that you have.
And I didn't have kids, so it's like I think that's also easier. Like when people don't have kids, because people forget you're on the road 4 days a week, and then also too in training school we're there 9 a.m. until 3 or 4, and then we might have a show that night at a church or something or at a gas station, and we go perform. Like it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's your whole life.
Yeah.
You eat, breathe, sleep, wrestling. If you want to get in this business, you give up. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
A lot of sacrifice. Yeah.
But then when you did get called up back to WWE, you were on the fast track. Like 4 months after you debuted.
And I felt not ready.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after all that training.
There's a different, to perform in front of thousands of people opposed to a church full of
thousands
like
live
30
and then millions.
Yeah, watching.
Yeah.
And then being judged, especially when you're new and you come in, you're under a microscope. Let's see if she's got it, or we just let her go. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we don't see it. Let's just let her go. You're always fearful of that. You know what I mean? So I was very lucky. I really was.
What do you think you did in your first few appearances that really impressed them?
I was very athletic. My first match was with Jackie Mo, and it was good chemistry, and I got brought up and like a little bit more backstage, not being on TV yet, so I kind of got to feel like observe from an outsider, and I was like, okay, but you still don't know, you know what I mean? But Trish and I, our matches, just. You say sorry later, and you just go. We just did anything, and we didn't want to be known as like the best female wrestling match. We wanted the best match of the card. So her and I had the same. All of us girls were like going, "What can you do super dangerous where people think you're freaking knocked out or you knocked your head off?" Do you know what I mean? It's like it was. Yeah, we pushed the envelope, and Fit Finley is the one that created my character, and without him, I don't think I would have been nothing. I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it.
4 months after your debut, you're the women's champion.
Is that happened?
Was that not after the Godfather debut, but
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that you don't know that.
Oh my God, and it was
Yeah.
at Madison Square Garden, and I broke my nose, chipped my tooth, I got a lump on my head, and when I broke my nose, he goes, "Do you want me to finish it?" You know, they're like, you know, want to do the X mark, right, to end the match. And I was like, no, I can't. I got to keep my, just tell her to stay away from me for a little bit. I can't see because your eyes water when you break your nose, right? And I was like, and I still continued on. And the match got messed up a little bit on the end. You know, I was supposed to crush her with a mirror on the head. She stepped on the mirror running the ropes. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And my go-to move was, my favorite move was the suplex. I did that as a finish. After putting the fire extinguisher, and I grabbed the wrong one, the one with the pin. And she's like, "Get in here, just forget it. I go, "I got it." And I started cursing. I'm like, "Back up, I got it." And I got it, and I sprayed her, and I should have just rolled her up. I did a suplex. What the hell was it? That was my go-to move, though. I was like, I love the suplex. I was like,
well, it worked.
It did. It did. But then, of course, going backstage, you're like, "Oh my God, everything got screwed up out there. Oh my God, I'm gonna get yelled at. They're gonna fire me." But
they can't fire you. You're the champion.
Who knows?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they could take it away from me the next day.
That's
you know,
true.
but it was a great storyline. We loved it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything wrong when you're psycho. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm gonna be, you know. Stevie Richards also helped me a lot. I mean, like, we just had good chemistry. Can I do this to you? We never asked that. Whatever you feel out there, just do it. There was one time when I came out in the ring, and I was only supposed to smell him, but I bit his ear. I felt it. I don't know. I just felt it. And he was like, "What was that?" And I go, "I'm so sorry. Is that okay?" And he goes, "No, that's great. I don't know. Where did that come from?" And I go, I'm crazy. I'm like, the sniffing is not just good enough. I need to, right?
Yeah.
It's my boy toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he always gave me encouragement. Like, before, I used to get super nervous, like, where nervous belly, wanting to throw up, my hands sweat, and just, I couldn't talk to anybody. I'm like, okay, I just need to face the curtain and just get ready and go over my spots and just like, okay, don't forget this, okay, the camera's over here on this side this time. You know what I mean? There's a lot going through your head. Okay, I need to make sure my hair's out of my face to show my selling on my face. Like, it's a lot. People don't realize how much goes into a match. And we get one chance, right? Yeah. And you did it too. It's like, you don't get it. Okay, take two. Let's take it from this angle. You don't get that. You just like, I'm done with my match. I hope they liked it. You know what I mean?
And the other thing that you need to keep in mind is where are the cameras. That's the biggest thing when you get called up.
And the important thing too is like, when I notice now, like when I went backstage, maybe a couple years ago, I went to go say, it was the same camera guys, same lighting guys. And I'm like, "Oh my God, hey, oh my God, hey, how are you?" And they're like, "Oh my God, it's changed so much." You got to communicate with these camera guys and the lighting guys and say thank you. These are the guys that make you look good. Yeah. And I would go to a camera guy. I was like, "Hey, after this move, close up on my face, because I'm going to go psycho. And I'm going to tell a story with my face." And so you got to communicate that. It's all about a storytelling, right? Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, it was, it's crazy that I'm talking about this now because I'm like, I can't believe I did this. You know, isn't it weird?
Well, I mean, you did it every week.
It's crazy.
For almost 20 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I think one of the big things you had going for you when you came into WWE was an incredible theme song.
And it was not my choice.
Well, but that tattoo song was
my God.
all over the radio, was all over MTV. And then for that to be your entrance theme,
I know.
You're immediately over.
I know. And I had no clue. When they played the song for me and they showed me the video.
Oh no.
I was like, "Are you guys wanting me to be a lesbian?"
Yeah, the music video is like two girls kissing.
Yeah, and I was like,
in like rain.
I was like, what storyline? They're like, "No, you know, listen to the words." And I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Let me go get Fit." So I had Fit watch it with me. And I go, "It's not creepy enough." So they added the beginning. Yes, I've lost my... Yeah, and then the eyeball and like the video thing. And so Fit goes, "Can you make it some little bit more scary at the beginning to make her, when I come out, you know?" So, and we only owned that for a year. Wasn't my choice to change.
And then it was the Nicki Minaj thing?
Yeah, and it wasn't Nicki Minaj at the time.
Oh, she had a different name.
Yeah, and so I was like, they're like, what kind of music are you into? And I go, "Believe it or not, if you look at me, you're thinking I'm into really heavy metal and like all this death metal stuff, right?" I go, "I did hip hop as a kid, you know, as a cheerleader. I did hip hop classes and stuff like that. I like hip hop." And that's when they chose that song, I Ain't the Lady to Mess With. And she made it for my entrance. And then years later, I found out it was from Twitter. I can't believe Nicki Minaj did your entrance. And I'm like, oh my God, Nicki Minaj.
Who did you think it was? Just some demo singer?
Yeah. Huh. I thought just New Yorkers. I don't know. We don't know that side of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go meet the artist and say, oh, can you say this line?
Yeah.
We don't get that freedom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you need to have a conversation with Nicki Minaj.
Seriously.
Actually, she needs to thank you.
No, I need to thank her.
No, you put her on the map.
No, I did not.
Oh, now she's going to drink some wine. Okay,
I am.
Yeah,
I am. Because I feel uncomfortable with that conversation. No, it was pretty cool though. That was pretty cool.
Who were your favorite rivalries that you had?
Okay, Molly Holly.
Yeah.
Trish, Lita, Gail Kim, Mickey James. Oh my God, Odie. I had so many. I had
everybody. I know.
I had good opponents.
Yeah, you did.
Ivory. That was my role model. She was so nice to me when I first got in the business. She came down to where was it? Memphis. I had a singles match with her. I didn't think I was ready for a singles match. I was in Memphis. That's my second year. Or not even my second year, because I was in UPW for 5 months. Moved to Memphis. They sent her down to wrestle me. Super giving and just like very good leader and stuff like that. And when I came up to TV, she goes, "You guys want to drive with me? I'll show you the ropes. Like, you would get up early to go have breakfast. We'll go to the gym, maybe the tanning salon back then, and we'll go to the building, start getting ready." And she showed like the friendliness and like she was super humble and just she taught a lot. That's where I learned how like when every new girl came in, even if they just lasted a week, I was like, "Hey, do you want to drive with us so you don't feel lonely?"
Nice.
Yeah, because it's very catty. It's very cliquey backstage. It's very high school. Like you don't know who to talk to, and you're looked at. Who's this new chick? Is she a stripper? She was a Godfather hoe. You know what I mean? Is she just here just for the week or the weekend? You know. So I became friends with all the newbies.
Oh, that's great.
And of course, who they want to have an angle with, their new friend Lisa. I didn't do that purposely, but they trusting. You got to trust your opponent. You know.
Yeah. Between all of that, I would think that you would have stayed in WWE for a long time. Did you know that your contract was coming to an end, or did you know that you were leaving?
No, I had 2 years left on my contract, and I asked for my out.
And then they actually gave you the ability to say goodbye in the ring.
I talked to Vince, Johnny Ace, and Stephanie McMahon, and I asked them, "Do you see the title in my future?" And they were like, that face gave it away, and I was like, and if I would have known if I would have been like enhancement talent, like a Fit Finley, like all the new guys would go through him because he'll teach them the ropes in the ring, right? I would have stayed if I would, been told that. But when the fans going out to the parking lot to get our rental car, "Oh man, Victoria, my God, you could have totally kicked her ass." They weren't believing my ability, and I was like, you want that facade still to be, "Oh, she's such a badass." It was like, I think people were starting to feel sorry for me. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want that." And I don't want to hate the business. So I thought I was done. I was like, I don't know what I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? So I was like, I told him that. I know I'm in my 40s, but I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I was like, I'm a kid still here, and I don't want to hate the business. I still love it, and I want to have passion, and I don't want to be that bitter vet. You meet those people at Comic-Con that just talk so badly about the business, and you're just like, I am not going to turn into that.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate what I did and love it still.
Yeah.
And then we had a 30-day no-compete clause. TNA called me, and it's like, I need to think about it. And they're like, we need to know tonight because we want to debut you Monday.
Wow.
And then so I said, let me just sign for a year. Let me see if I like it.
Yeah.
And then,
so was it that you were done with wrestling at that time? Or
at the time,
done with WWE?
no, not WWE. Okay. I didn't have plans to go to TNA. No,
Yeah.
I was just, I was done. I thought I was done with wrestling, but I never said retire because you never say retire as a wrestler.
Yeah, your speech was like kind of just short and to the point. It's like, this is the last time you're going to see me.
I had a speech prepared, but when I cry, I can't talk.
Oh.
It was so much longer, but I was like, let me just get out of here. You know what I mean?
But the fact that they gave you mic time does not happen anymore. Like mic time to say goodbye.
I know. but I had such a speech ready, man. I was so disappointed. I was like, man, I had so much things to say. But when I came backstage, all the wrestlers, all the boys, all the agents, and everybody standing ovation, and I was like, it was worse backstage. I was like, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? But
when you first got to TNA, were there some immediate differences that you noticed?
Yeah, it was I went to every table and went to every person and say, hi, my name's Lisa, just in case I didn't meet them. They're like, and then someone from WWE that was there said, Lisa, this is not WWE. You don't have to go say hi to every single person. But that was like, you should do that anyways. It's not a WWE thing. It's being kind and like going, hey, you know? And also in WWE, like all the new guys that would be lined up, the indie guys, and they wouldn't sit down at the chairs and stuff like that. And they'll be in a suit, like trying, I hope I get a dark match. I would say hi to each and every one of them. And then I ran into them later and they're like, you were the only one that said hi to me when I was backstage. And I was like, that's a shame. I mean, like, wow. I'm like, isn't it awful? Because it's hard to be like being new in the business and coming backstage and you're looked at like, what are you doing here? That's an awful feeling. You know what I mean? It's almost like not being bullied, but you're just going to a new school. Sure. High school, and you're like,
and everybody already has their
clique,
exactly,
and they're like, "Who's this chick?" You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But you had some great storylines in TNA, and you had some incredible matches in TNA. Which are some of the ones that really stand out for you there?
Mickie James and I had a cage match. Awesome Kong and I had a cage match. ODB and I had a hardcore match. Oh my goodness. There were so many matches. And the spider thing, you know, wasn't my idea, but I came to TV. They were like, oh, you're the spider chick. And I go, oh, Black Widow. I wasn't a tarantula girl, but they gave me the tarantulas. And of course, when I signed, I said, you give me a match, I'm one that doesn't complain. You know, I'm like, I'll make it the best match ever. Yeah. I'm going to try my best. You give, you know, the bra and panties we hated, but we're like going, we're going to give a great cutoff spot that people forget that we're in lingerie. That's a great match. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so they came with 3 spiders, and I go, what is this? And they're like, oh, after your finisher, you're going to put the tarantula. And I go, oh, so they don't have venom in there. And they're like, no, there's venom. And I go, of course, I talked a big game signing with them. And I was like, I don't want to sign for 3 years. Give me a 1 year, one year at a time, because I want to make sure I'm happy here. And so you can tell the first time I have my spider, I'm like this, though. Every time. I was like going, this one, because you don't get the same spider every time. But I would go for the biggest.
Oh, this is like Jake the Snake.
Yeah. I'd go. It's like they would do it. Like they would give me 3 spiders, and I go, which one's really docile? And he goes, oh, they're pretty good with people because it's from Gatorland. I didn't own it. And I go, well, I want the biggest one because it'll show better on camera, right? Yeah. Yeah, but it was, they were like, are you afraid of spiders? I go, I don't know. I don't, I'll do it. I would just have to blank my mind and just going. And also, too, like, I didn't know their body language. I had a Wikipedia, the tarantula, and, like, when they do that, like, it's a defense mechanism. They think so after my match, I'd go, and he would go like this, and I would look at the ref, and I go, he's going to totally bite me right now. I'm going to drop him. And they'd explode like light bulbs. So I was like, I can't drop him. PETA's going to be after me. I'm very into animals. So I was like going, oh my gosh. And also, too, they shoot fibers. So when birds hunt them, they'll flick their fibers so it'll blind their corneas. So I would always go, I'm itching. I would go to Gatorland guy because they had to have a pet guy, an animal safety guy, because of Universal Studios. Got paid more than some of the mid-carders. That's sad, right? And so I was like, I'm itching. He goes, oh, it's the fibers. They think they're getting attacked, so they shoot fibers. And I go, you didn't tell me this. I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. So I learned on the spot.
I love that you learned about the spiders from Wikipedia.
I know. I had to learn from somewhere. It was a rose tarantula, too.
I also like that when someone asked you, are you afraid of them? You said, I don't
know. I don't know. I did not know. I'd like, if it's a brown recluse, sure, that kind of, yeah. I was like, I don't know. I have 3 older brothers, so they did amateur wrestling like you. And we hunted snakes and we had bizarre animals growing up, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really afraid of that kind of stuff. We didn't have a tarantula, I don't think. I really don't remember, but you see on TV, people have tarantulas and they can crawl on them
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was my introduction.
You're like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. And plus I talked a big game going to TNA. I was like, oh, you give me any match, there's nothing I'm your go-to girl. You want something done? I'll do it. And I'm like, Spiders, I go, mother jumper. Are you freaking serious?
Of all the things.
Are you serious? Serious. Oh my God.
I'm interested to know who came up with Victoria. Who came up with that name? Because Lisa Marie could have been a good
I
wrestler.
wanted my real name. Everybody got their real name. And I was like, what did I don't understand. And they told me to go home, think of some names and so I Googled stripper names. Mocha, Candy. Like
Destiny.
Yes. Next on stage, right? Chris Van Vliet. Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so I came with a list. I have the list still in storage. I don't know where it's at. I do have that list. And I said, I came up, here's a list of names. And they're like, oh, you're Victoria. And I go, oh, I don't get it. They're like, there's nothing to get. You're Victoria. I go, okay. And then when I first started, everyone's like going, Veronica. And I go, my name doesn't even fit me, But then, of course, you Google the name of Victoria, Victorious. And I was like, oh, I kind of like my name.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's a hard name to chant. You can't go Mickey, Mickey, Victoria. You can't do that. Vicky.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got a 3-syllable. That's a hard. I'm never gonna get chants.
You need 2 or 4 syllables.
Right.
To chant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you went to TNA, obviously you couldn't be Victoria anymore.
No.
Why couldn't you be Lisa Marie there?
I was supposed to. I should have put it in my contract. They told me I was going to be my name. And then I get to the TV, and they're like, oh, are you Tara? I go, oh, no, I'm Lisa Marie. And they're like, oh, no, your name is Tara. And I go, and I complained. I was like, oh, my God, this is my first day on the job. And I already felt like, oh, my God, I was lied to a little bit. And I was like, I should, and I'm very trusting. I always, okay, they're going to, they're good for it, right?
Yeah.
And I was just upset, and I was like, okay, Sting was there. And I go, okay, he's old school, and let me go up to him. I go, Sting, can I talk to you? And he goes, yeah. And I told him, they changed my name. I wanted my real name, and it wasn't in the contract. And then they gave me Tara, and he goes, I go, and they gave me another name. He goes, what's the name? And I go, Tara. And he goes, oh, that's really sexy. And I go, I'll keep the name Tara. Good old Sting. You got to take his word for it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a sexy name. Okay, I'll take it. And I didn't want to cause, I'm a difficult person.
Yeah,
oh, she's a diva from WWE,
right.
Being a prima donna, that kind of thing. She doesn't like her name. And I was like going, I was like, okay, whatever. Okay, pick and choose my battles.
I remember seeing the Widow's Peak for the very first time and going, my God.
I know.
Like what? Because a lot of the women at that time, a lot of the divas at that time had pretty boring finishers.
I know. It's hard to come up with a finisher too.
I bet.
That's unique.
Sure. How'd you come up with it?
I didn't come up with Roderick Strong. Molly Holly went to an indie show and saw Roderick Strong do it. And she came back to TV and said, Victoria, we don't call each other by our real names in the business, by the way. I have a move for you. Here, put me over your shoulder. Get power bomb. Put me over the shoulder. Okay, hook my neck. I'm gonna hook my legs around your waist. Okay, drop to your butt. And I go, drop to my butt? How's your neck gonna hit? She's holding on my wrist, so it prevents her from like her neck snapping on my shoulder, right? And so that's the important part is grip my wrist. You know what I mean? Unless you're tall, you're not gonna hit it. Their knees hit first before my butt.
But it almost like a jawbreaker too.
Yeah, right? And I dropped to the ground. This was before the show. And everyone went, oh! And then Vince saw it. And then Molly goes, hey, Vince, do you like that for Victoria's finisher? And he goes, you okay? She goes, yeah. He goes, I love it. And the first person to take it was Stacy Keibler. So So thank you, Roderick Strong and Molly Holly. Yeah, Molly Holly was super giving.
Did Roderick know you were doing the move?
He didn't know probably until he saw it. Oh. Okay, so I saw him at a hotel. I forgot what town. I think it was, I want to say Boston, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Maybe Jersey. You know how like fans are in the lobby waiting to get autographs? And he was like maybe 13, 14 years old. I don't know, like maybe 16. He looked very young. He goes, Victoria? And I go, oh, hey, buddy. And he goes, I'm Roderick Strong. I was the one that came up with your finisher. And I go, oh my God. And I hugged him. I go, you put me on the map, dude. I go, oh my, thank you. Oh my gosh. Molly Holly got that move from you and gave it to me. Oh my, you have no idea. And that was my first meeting with him. I was like, he was the one that, with my devastating finisher. It was that finisher, I think, really made me.
For sure it did.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then my spinning sidewalk slam, Crash Holly gave that to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wrestled like the guys. That's what made you.
Well, we would
entertaining.
like back in my day. I can't believe I said that. It's so old. Back in my day, we would get there a few hours earlier than what the other guy, like what our check-in was. And so there would be a group of guys: Arn Anderson, Fit Finley, Dean Malenko, Regal. Oh my gosh, Tommy Dreamer, Lance Storm, like all these guys would be, they knew that us girls would be showing up early. And we would work on our craft. Hey, I need more on my repertoire. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, it's not a script, you guys. Like, we don't memorize every single move. So there's times we have a brain fart and we're like going, I don't know what to do next. It's nice to have something in your back pocket. Okay, she's in this position. I can do this move. So like, I need something else really mean to do this, my opponent. Do you know what I mean? So they would be there before with us and help us train. Ricky Steamboat too. Like, it was like my dangle move, where Christy Hemme was the first one to take it. I would take her hair. It was almost getting her into the widow's peak, but I would turn her over, dangle like here, and she would kick her feet. I called it the dangle because you do, like, the new girls, like the new rookies, like you name it different, like, so they'll remember. Okay,
Yeah.
dangle.
Yeah.
Dangle. And then I would shoo them off. And I got that from Ricky Steamboat.
Ah.
Yeah. And I try to do Ricky Steamboat arm drags, but it takes two to do that arm drag. It takes the other person knowing how to exactly throw themselves over too. Because I've tried, like Ric Flair helped me, and Ricky Steamboat, I'm like going, it's not Ricky Steamboat style.
Yeah.
His arm drags, man. Jeez.
Is there a favorite mistake that you had that maybe happened in the ring or backstage that really helped you kind of push things forward in your career?
Oh my God, that's a good question. I guess, I hate saying that. I have a torn ACL, right, my right leg, and I had the knee brace, and I felt like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I really felt cool, and I remember talking to him about the torn ACL, and he goes, if you can prevent getting surgery, don't get it, because you're gonna have arthritis. It's gonna cause more problems in the future. And when they shipped me to Alabama to go to their doctor, WWE doctor, and he goes, wow, I never had said you don't need surgery. And I go, is it partially torn then? He goes, no, it's torn. He goes, it's a good thing you have thick legs. And I go, thick legs? You mean muscular? Muscular. And he goes, yeah, muscular. It's a good thing you have muscular legs. He goes, because the way you trained from bodybuilding, and I had strong hamstrings and quads.
Wow.
So, yeah. And so, but I still have that knee brace to this day, and it's duct taped. I've tried to get a new one. There's nothing like my good old fashioned
This should
one.
be an item that you sell.
Eventually,
Autograph
but you
that.
never know when I'm going to come out. You never say retire. You always keep that in the corner. You're like going, what if I have that one match to come back?
Aren't knee braces, haven't they advanced? But
this one covers, like, the new ones are like the whole front knee is open.
Yeah.
My knee is not protected. So this one has a big old rod. It's so bulky and freaking archaic. I have duct tape on it. Shoot. I have duct tape. And I can't replace that knee brace. And we used it a lot on spots. Like, Mickey took it to the nose, and so did, Candace. And, like, I used it as a gimmick. And I also felt, not that it's iconic, that saying, that's what put me on the map. But when I would put it on, I'm like going, kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So you're saying, in a weird way, tearing the ACL actually helped to propel your career.
It made me work harder, because I was like, oh my God. Because when that happened, I partially tore it hopping over the top rope. And the spring of the mat came up on my knee, and it snapped, and I heard it snap. Oh. And I told the referee, and I just stood there. I tore my ACL. He goes, shut up, Lisa. I'm Victoria. And I go, I tore my ACL. I go, I'm going to try to walk, but just stand by me. I started to walk, and I go, I tore my ACL. I tore something in my knee. And then they did the X mark, and I go, no, we have a tag match. I'll just manage. I'll just hop on the side. Trainers, everybody came out to get me. I was really embarrassed because it makes you seem weak.
Yeah.
And then I completely tore it when I wrestled Jackie Moore in a hardcore match, and I did a moonsault, and there was a trash can lid, and she moves out of the way, and I land on the trash can lid. But my knee, it's a real trash can lid, so the ends don't bend, right? So my knee went into the corner of it. I mean, the round part of the edges.
Yeah.
And it completely tore, and I was like, I knew it because I was walking, and it felt like it wasn't my leg. The sensation when you tear something like that, it wasn't instant pain. I just felt like, wow, it's a weird sensation. It doesn't feel like my leg, I have control of it. Like it's like a phantom leg kind of thing. It was a weird sensation. I go, and I was like, they laid me on the table, and I looked at Fit, and I just bawled, and I was like, my career's over. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm freaking done. I'm done. I can't believe I just invested all this time and leaving home and like training, and I'm done in a couple years. And then the doctor said that, and then so I said, what exercise am I not? Strengthen your hamstring more so than your quads, because I was very quad heavy, like very strong in my quads. Quadzilla. You got to keep it separated. And so they told me exercise and don't run downhill and stuff, like certain things, you know what I mean? But I can't wrestle without my knee brace.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your time in TNA because it seemed like you were having a great run.
Yeah.
How did you know your time was done?
Oh, no,
there?
I got fired. Good luck with your future endeavors. Not even that. Not even that. No, they do not.
But how did you know, or did you know? Did you know it was coming to an end?
I wasn't going to resign. It's great now because, Gail Kim is in charge. Like, they have a great office now. At that time, it was so... I didn't know I was booked on a pay-per-view until I read Twitter. And I called the office. I said, hey, am I on pay-per-view? I haven't got travel. I'm supposed to travel tomorrow. They're like, oh, shit. We didn't send you. Yeah, that's not just an example, but it was very unorganized. And I just, I didn't feel appreciated, I guess, as much. I don't know. It's always important, like in the business, if you guys are agents or producers or stuff, always give a pat on the back to the wrestlers. We don't know if we're doing a good job. Like that thumbs up back. I was just telling you earlier, to get that thumbs up means a lot. Or acknowledgement, like eye contact going something, or wink or something like that.
Yeah.
And
well, it's because you just went out there and gave
your all, and you're like about to break your neck, and like you're giving your everything to a company, and I just felt like I was like, okay, I think I'm done. You know what I mean? And I felt it, and then I had 2 more months on my contract. I got the call from travel department, Bob Ryder, and said, we're letting you go. And I was from the travel department. I got let go. Travel department. Honestly. And I was like, wow, the owner, talent relations didn't even call me to let me go. And Bruce Pritchard's was talent relations. And then I ran into him at a Comic-Con or a WrestleCon or something, or WrestleCade. It was all wrestling signing. And the guy that brought me in brought him in. And so he was in the same car. And I go, Bruce, this has been bothering me a long time. I go, I just want to say this, because I'm not going to go back to the business. I don't care who I not piss off, but I go, I was really upset you didn't call me to release me. He goes, I didn't know you got released until the following week.
What?
And I go, what? And he goes, that's because I got released the following week. And I go, oh, I was really hurt because you and I go back to UPW.
Yeah.
Like back, and I was like, oh my God. I go, we've been through a lot together. We were in WWE, WWF, and I was hurt. And he was like, I got released the following week. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. Not that you got released, but it hurt my feelings that I didn't get released by the proper people, not the travel guy. God bless him.
I still can't believe that, though.
It was time. I was done. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know that you were done with everything? You just retired last year.
Against Melina Perez.
Yeah.
Going over the match, I knew we were main eventing, and it was a guy and girl show. So
did you go into it knowing this is my final match?
No.
Oh.
No. I was like, I found out I was getting the belt. Do you want to see the belt you're winning? And I go, I'm getting the belt? What? I was shocked. I was like, you're main eventing. I got to pick my opponent and Melina Perez. And we were going, I go, okay, we're main eventing. We can't do a ha-ha gaga match. It has to be serious and like freaking, we have to do dangerous stuff. And I remember going over the match and then Melina goes, do you have some eyeliner I can borrow? And I go, Melina, we're up in 30 minutes. Do you have the match? I'm like, we get to go over it. And I would stress because I'm a little older. I'll forget stuff too. And I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm an old timer. You don't want people to see you slow down or feel sorry. Oh, she used to be a badass. Oh, what happened? Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so my nerves, like I was getting anxiety. I was like going, my stomach, and I was like going, I was sweating. I'm like going, oh my God, the way, what I put myself through. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I go, I'm already physically and mentally exhausted and I haven't wrestled yet. And I was like, and I don't want people to be disappointed. Okay, I'm getting the belt tonight. We're main eventing. What better way? What better way can I go out? I asked the guy. I took his mic. Thank you for coming to my last match. Everyone went, even the promoter goes, you didn't tell me it was your last match. We could have promoted it like that. I go, I didn't know until 30 minutes ago. But I felt good.
Wow.
And everyone's like going, do you miss it? Didn't even miss it. And I go, when you're doing Comic-Cons and you're doing interviews and like you're still involved and you get to talk about it and live through it again.
Yeah.
And no, I have no, I don't feel bad at all. I'm like, no, I'm not,
So
I'm not sad.
you'd obviously been thinking about it for a while.
I didn't know when it was going to happen.
Right.
I didn't know that was the day, but I'm like going, it's TikTok because I'm getting older and I don't want to, the way that the people work now, a little too fast for me. It's too spot fest. I like more storytelling, facial expressions, and more, I'm going to hunt you down and like, oh shit, she's going to get it. You know what I mean? I like that. And the way girls were moving was so boom, 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 boom. I was so blown up. And I was like, oh my God, we got to let the people register what we just did. I didn't like the new style. It was too spotty for me. It was maybe Lucha Libre. I wouldn't survive in Lucha Libre. It's too much spots. I'm not that athletic anymore. And I just knew. I was just going and coming home. Did I come home, David, or was I going away for the weekend? Came home and I got in the car and I started crying. And I was like, I can't do this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I go, my neck, freaking A. I go, my God, I took a suicide dive. What the hell am I doing? A suicide dive? I didn't do the suicide dive. I took the suicide dive. What the hell am I doing? Because I have something to prove. I don't want them to think I'm an old lady.
Yeah.
I can't do stuff. And I'm like, to these newbies, I mean, the younger girls, I'm sorry, not newbies, younger girls, I don't want to be that old timer that goes, oh no, I don't do that. Oh no, I'm not going to lose the match. I prefer to lose the match. Going back to pass the torch. I'm not going back. Let this girl say, I beat Victoria that used to be in WWE, or Tara and TNA, you know what I mean? I don't have anything to prove. Let them win.
Yeah.
But I was like, I came back and I was like, I can't turn my neck. I go that freaking flight. I couldn't sleep because of my back. Like I was getting tingly down my leg. And I was like, I can't do this. I go, what the hell? I go, I want to be in my 50s, be able to walk and do normal crap. You know what I mean? Like I want to enjoy life still. I don't want to be walking, like Shawn Michaels or Undertaker with their back. I don't know if you ever seen them walk, but they're just like, it looks painful. And I'm like, I'm not going to be like that. I can't let myself be like that. You know what I mean? So I just, which one am I going to retire on? I didn't know I was going to like Melina, I thought like her and I, like we have good chemistry too. And she was super giving. She's like, get this move in. You used to do this move. I'll take it. I want to take the widow's peak. And I'm like, oh my God. And she was like going, Lisa, I got you. And she was so giving. She didn't care. I don't need to get that move in. I go, no, do your split thing. No, do that. Come on. You got to do signature stuff. You and I have signature stuff. And she was so, just super giving. I thought at the end of the match, my ponytail was right here, and my ponytail was right here. I was so, she pinned me as, I love you so much. And then, yeah, it was great.
So you didn't end up winning the match.
I did.
Oh,
I got the
did?
belt. And they were like, when I said I was retiring, she goes, who are we going to give the title to now? Are you going to come back and wrestle one more time? And I go, I'll come back and I'll watch, and I'll put the title on the line. Who out of these two girls, they can have the title. I go, I'm not going to get in the ring again. I was like, I can't.
So do you have big plans for next year? You turn 50 next year.
I know, February 10.
This is soon.
I love my birthday.
This is 2 months away.
I know.
As we tape this right now.
I know.
Do you have big plans?
No, but it's girls like, and like we're all like, all of us are talking about where can we go? If it's COVID, it's over. You know what I mean? We need to do something big, you know, like inviting like Trish, Lita, like all of our old friends together and just celebrate together. Even though it's like, it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm very, you know, you give me a wine in a paper bag, I'm pretty happy. You know, I'm a cheap date, so I don't need to do anything like a cruise or they're all talking, maybe we should do a cruise. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of pricey. I'm like going, why don't we just go to Vegas or, you know what I mean? Just get a cheap hotel and all of us get to hang out and stuff, you know, but we haven't talked about that, but we're hoping like GAWTV by next year, you know, takes off. We're going to learn from you, Mr. YouTuber.
I'll tell you everything I know, but it's only going to get you a little bit further than you currently are.
Did you steal that vase?
I did. I
meant David. David, get that vase. He's kind of successful.
I want to wrap this up. And this has been an incredible
I'm
conversation.
so sorry. Yeah, I talk too much.
Sorry?
No, I talk a lot.
This has been amazing. Please.
Okay.
No, this has been amazing. But I'm very driven by gratitude. And I always say that if you can be grateful, you can be great.
Yeah.
Be great, be grateful. And I end every interview by asking, what are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life right now?
Oh my gosh. I should have watched your show. I am grateful to have like a great boyfriend and a great family that's super supportive, and being back in San Diego in California is being close to my family and having my dad in my life. And like, you know, I lost my mom a couple of years ago, but my dad's still, you know, kicking. And I have my 3 brothers are in my life. Oh my goodness, I have 2 great dogs. I'm great. The number one thing too is GAWTV. Out of this COVID thing, we launched a freaking badass show that's our Friday night. We get to sit down with the girls, have a glass of wine, shoot the shit, talk to fans. They send in questions, and just people get to get a little peek ski, as Mickey James always says. She always adds the ski at the end of everything she says.
Like that.
Yeah, she goes, Mickey ski. Part of our, I mean, like, it's, hopefully we'll be big as you. You know what I mean?
You should set your goals a little higher.
No. Honestly, you have an amazing show. Come on.
Thank you.
On. Serious.
That's very kind of you.
No, but I'm just grateful to be freaking still healthy. Just like be able to walk, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are 3 great things.
Is it? I think I named more, but
no, I think a big thing is people often focus on the negative things in their life, and I think it's so important to take a second. I do it every day, but take a second to just go, oh yeah, there are some really good things in my life.
And I don't do that every day. I think that's super important to do. I think I need to start doing that. Like write some grateful things.
This is going to sound cheesy.
No.
But I literally, the first thing I do when I wake up now is I smile. I'm laying in bed. Sometimes the alarm's gone off. Sometimes I just just wake up.
Yeah.
The first thing I do is smile. I'm like, oh my God, another chance.
Yeah.
Another day. And starting and ending every day with 3 things that you're grateful for will completely change your life.
We need to do that, because I think most people, and I'm guilty of it, is always thinking the negative.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I didn't get this done.
But then what you focus on is how you're going to feel. Focus on the negative things.
Exactly.
All you're gonna feel is negative.
And I just learned something about myself. It's like I made a list of things I needed to do. I need to do a daily list thing, because I had a list of things I needed to do. I was like, that's too much stuff. I can't get through that whole thing today. And then ODB is the one that said, just make a list of things you need to do that day. Yeah. Monday, I'm going to do this. Yep. Tuesday, I'm going to film or do a photo shoot for GAW. You know, that kind of, for our Patreon members. And like,
you know what'll really shift it? Those aren't the things you need to do. Those are the things you
get to do. Get to do.
You get to do those things. And then when you cross them off, I do this every day. You cross them off. At the end of the day, you're like, look at all the things I did. I did 17 things today. It's amazing.
Oh my God. I need to do that. I think it's important.
I agree.
You're right.
Yeah.
You should be a life coach.
I don't know. Sure. Sure.
No,
Just
but
read
it's
some of these books
important
over
because
here.
most of us, like myself, I'm guilty too of being negative.
Yeah.
I got to like.
There's just so much to be grateful for.
Honestly.
In every day, in every situation. I'm grateful for you. You made the drive up from San Diego.
You're worth it.
For little
you're
old
worth
me.
it. Yeah, you're worth it. They're like, you're driving out for an interview? And I'm like, it's Chris.
I offered to drive to you.
I know you did.
And you're like,
I know.
no, I'll come to you.
No, I'll come to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally. Let's change scenery. And it gave us a chance to come to LA and just get out of San Diego a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I love San Diego, but it's nice to get out, you know, like nice drive, listen to music, and you know what I mean? So, and then hit the Halloween store on the way back, but it's closed.
Halloween store?
You know that one that's like off the highway? They're open all year round.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I get good like stuff for photo shoots and stuff,
sure.
like you know what I mean, and
Can't believe
or
they're
a
closed.
funny hat or for GAW, that kind of stuff. I'm like into. I like surprising, like exactly like when you were on our show, our dragon outfit to be spontaneous.
I'm wearing a dragon outfit.
I know.
Well, a dragon onesie.
It's great, and then now like the pressure for me is I always have a funky cup, but I haven't gone out. They're like, "Oh, Lisa, you got the same cup," and I go, "Oh my God, now I pigeonholed myself about having a funny cup." You know, the first episode I had a wine glass, I had a wine cup here, and it was the bottle underneath.
That's a good
awesome?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right about the negativity though, because I need to work on that myself.
I mean, even being able to say I need to focus on that is a huge
And there's
step.
also 2 apps like for affirmation apps, like, you know, like say positive things a day. Melina Perez is the one that sent me a couple apps to follow. Yeah. Do I read it every day? I do not. Melina does.
Maybe you should put it on your get to do list.
Yeah, and cross it off.
There it is.
I got to do that.
Well, I got to do this.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for this.
I mean, what a week. It's going to be the interview that I got to do with you guys, and then this one dropping, well, now as people are listening or watching this.
Thank you, guys.
So I will put a link down below to GAWTV. Please subscribe. And also a link to our interview from GAWTV.
Yes, and we'll put it on ours too.
And then where can people find you?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, at Real Lisa Marie. I have a fan Facebook is Lisa Marie Varon / someone took my name. And then I have another one, but I don't know the address. It was supposed to be personal, but I ended up following everybody and yeah. And what else is there? Like Twitter, Instagram. That's it.
I think you got it.
Yeah. And I have a store, lisamarievaron.bigcartel.com. I sell my wrestling gear, my wrestling boots,
awesome.
Hats, my Sailor Moon, like all my comic book stuff. I have storage, trying to get rid of storage. It's just a waste. I mean, it's in boxes. What am I doing with that? It's just a waste of money. Yeah. You know, $164 a month I'm paying for storage. That's a car payment, you guys.
Who needs
people?
That?
So I'm not a hoarder. I'm very a minimalist. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What a way to end it.
Yay!
Well, there we go. Thank you so much for checking out the chat with the lovely Lisa Marie, and you guys should check out the chat that I did with the ladies of GAW. I still can't believe I was on your show.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm serious.
We're very honored to have you on your show.
So it's GAWTV.
On YouTube, it's GAWTV show.
Okay, there we go.
But on Instagram and Twitter, it's I think Twitter at the GAWTV, and one of them's GAWTV.
They'll just type it in. They'll find it.
Yeah.
What does GAW stand for?
Grown ass women, and our logo is like grown ass women talking nonsense, basically.
There we go. So the link, like I said in our interview, is down below in the description. You can also hear this conversation on my podcast, so just search for the Chris Van Vliet Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for checking this out.
Do it. Do it. Do it.